Okay.
Starting?
Live.
You're live.
We're live?
Yep.
Starting already.
Oh man.
Okay.
So we've got a lot to talk about.
Starting?
Today. Yep. Live.
You're live.
Oh, live? On YouTube?
Yep.
On mic?
It's coming out.
Oh man.
Okay.
So we've got a lot to talk about.
Starting?
Today. Yep.
That sounds
Live.
by the way. You're live. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and pop it into the Google Hangout, and so I guess I could probably give the sort of shit with everything. This is a stream mainly about this individual known as MDA, who has been exposed as of late of being a creepy, pedophilish-esque individual. And this stream is here to talk about it, discuss points of view, and the first point of view we would like to see is from Melee, as she has to go in a bit, so without further ado, I would like to have her have the floor.
Alright, since I'm about to have the floor here, and plus I did make a video about MDA like around 6 days ago, I will say one thing that for MDA, like as for him to like ignore everything about this, especially when it comes like screenshots and then like the video footage that Lachlan showed of him, like pretty much like giving like these like creepy weird messages.
Can I stop you for a second, Melee?
Yeah.
You're coming in as robotic, like
Yeah.
sort of.
I'm not really good at introducing.
No. I mean, your mic is robotic, not you.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. Because your normal voice is fine. It's just you're sounding like a broken transformer at the moment.
But we can still understand it though. So that's
Yeah. I was just telling you, just so you know.
I don't know how to change that.
It's fine. Then go on then.
All right. But as I said, like when it comes to the video footage, as I already said about MDA like sexually harassing Lachlan's mother like through PM messages, and then you have like some screenshots, like the recent screenshot with that Mr. Repshaw showed like on Twitter of him like demanding this one girl to like to give him pictures of her nudes, and which I refuse to like to even like read those screenshots again because there's like really gross and abusive that the content that is. And it's like, NBA, he likes to like address to like some of the most minute like criticisms. Yeah. He has done that in the past. And when it's something like major, like as in like a pedophile accusation, he's just absolutely silent about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with the nonsense that's going on, is that he's completely silent.
While he has a bunch of people defending him at the same time, second-handedly in ways that I don't know exactly how they're defending him, because he hasn't gone necessarily entirely public with it. But I've heard that a lot of his friends have been defending him, regardless of what's been shown.
And like the thing with Queenie,
completely silent.
He has a bunch of people defending him at the same time, second-handedly in ways exactly how they're defending him, because he hasn't gone necessarily entirely public with it. But
they're like just always just referring to the law and the police and all that, and like, which I do get the whole innocent until proven guilty thing, but the thing is that like the law shouldn't be like the first thing, as in like when you have to presume innocence towards someone,
I have a concern, and my concern is that now that this has been brought out to the public, it's become tangible, because he could have wiped anything if he did something. Not saying that he did, of course, I'm just saying if he did, something could have been wiped.
Yeah.
But we all know his usernames and accounts and stuff like that can be investigated, regardless of what's deleted on his end. If that happens, like we're saying, we're making a very clear-cut distinction here. And sorry that I'm taking Mel's time before she has to go to work. I'm just verifying that these are accusations. We don't know if they're true, But we have heard stuff for a while, and we wanted to go into exactly why we haven't actually come forward. And it's mostly because we just didn't have enough evidence, which we'll go into later. And I'll let Mel keep going before she goes to work. Melly, sorry.
Like, when I first heard about this, like, entire thing, like, I heard it from Eric, but I haven't seen anything as of yet, so I pretty much remain neutral about to, like, see something like, as like, screenshots, or even, like, video footage. And, like, when Marvel saw his video, I saw the screenshots, and that's when I made that post of mine. And, like, which I still on it. And then I pretty much, like, kind of, like, went there when it comes to when I first heard about it. And, yeah.
See on show that was really it for me after.
I felt absolutely uncomfortable when I was, like, reading those messages. It's like, oh my god. Like, I would never expect NBA to, like, be this, you know, like, abusive, if that's too strong of a word. But it's definitely, like, a sexual abuse, like, type of thing. That's pretty much, like,
Yeah, some people.
behavior.
Yeah, and some people are justifying it like it's BDSM, kind of like what Onision was caught doing recently, and
like, the amount of victim blaming, and, like, seeing, like, especially on John's video, like, responding to, like, these screenshots that Repsion, like, showed on Twitter. Just, like, weak-minded and all that. It's like, you don't get psychological abuse or something. And plus, that doesn't excuse NDA's behavior at all.
It's I'm just gonna say what I saw was in fact undeniable on my end.
But undeniable, you reckon? That's quite scary. Actually, I just wanted to say this is one of those situations of the one who denied it supplied it.
Alright, it's like 8:31, so I have to head out.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, see ya.
Yeah.
See
Let me
you.
know when there's, let me know when there's another hangout, like, about this.
Alright,
Yeah.
sounds good.
No problem.
Catch you later.
Well, hopefully.
Alright, see you later.
Alright, see you.
Oh shit.
I kind of wanted to address one thing on my end because I was the one that responded to the post in question in regards to the group, because usually because in our group that doesn't happen. But there's really no complaints about stuff like that. So me being an admin of the group, I'm like, let me do my part and let's just see what's going on. I spoke to the person in question, and when she told me that it was MDA, at first I was just like, no, because let me be 100% clear on this. I used to be a fan of MDA. I was, for the longest, I was no longer a fan of him because I've noticed that he's been having some type of, like, attitude shifts, and I'm like, I'm not into that, so I just tossed that out of my head. But this is the thing that, I can't, at that time, I couldn't see him doing that, so I thought I was an imposter. Someone makes a fake profile, they put your name on it, they put your picture, they start messaging people, hey, I thought it was that. And she was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, this is the real MDA. And I'm just like, huh. So, I told her to bring it to Stout's attention, and that's when she started to speak to Stout. I didn't have enough evidence at that time to fully be like, hey, yeah, you, MDA, you did this, you're a scumbag. I'm not going to just accuse someone of doing something just because someone says it. I want more input, and I want more information. So that's basically what I had to do. That's basically my end of it, because I was at, like, a stalemate. I couldn't do anything.
And actually,
and to make my move.
I'm glad you brought that up, because, like, when I first had heard about this, and here's the thing, I said it was undeniable, but when I heard about it, when I saw some of the stuff, my very first reaction was like, I was very skeptical at first, because when I looked at it, I was like, huh, because I basically just woke up to it. That's how it began for me. I was getting ready for work. I just saw what just happened, and there was a video that was presented by a certain individual, who I will not name. And so I was pacing around outside of my workplace for like 15 minutes because, work for me doesn't like start till like 15 minutes there. So I'm saying to myself and thinking to myself, is like, did I really just see what I just saw? Was it really true? I mean, there had to be at least been some sort of an explanation to it. I mean, it could have been something, but then the more I started to think about it, the more it kind of sunk in. I was like, holy shit, it's really.
I tell you why I believed it instantly, and I'll tell you exactly why I did. I believed it instantly because someone had come to me back in 2014 and told me this, but I was having a bit of an fling at the time, and they never provided me with any evidence. They never provided me with, anything in particular to show me that this was actually true. And I turned around and I thought to myself, YouTubers, they have the pedo card thrown against them all the time. This is just another case of someone calling a YouTuber a pedophile who's not a pedophile. And then when, and then back in 2016, I had another person come forward and say it, and that's when I really started to believe it myself, because they do say that twice is a coincidence and three is a pattern. But the fact that two people one person in 2014, then one person in 2016 had told me the same exact thing, I kind of sat there and got a bit skeptical, but I had no evidence. I had nothing to go on. I couldn't make a video about it. There was nothing I could do. This is the third time. This is the third time. Yeah, this is the third. Now, the third time was a pattern for me, and that's when I went, he definitely has to be one. But I at the same time, and we have to keep in mind, it's just an accusation at the moment. So, but like I'm saying, they say twice is a coincidence and three is a pattern. I've seen it come up.
This time there's at least a decent amount of evidence. I mean, I maybe not be fully aware of this, but was there like any sort of video shown where the person was doing things? I don't know.
There was no video to my knowledge, unless it's evidence that they want absolutely confidential, because I remember talking with Undertaker Freak, who was going to take part of this stream, but he's sick, so I'm kind of speaking for him too. And when he was talking to me about evidence that he saw and Repsion saw, and he was telling me about how it would absolutely bury him, like, he worded it like this, verbatim: if you thought the stuff that I showed in my latest video was bad, this would definitely bury him. And they saw that whoever sent it to them said that they didn't want their names and all that other shit leaked out. Respect confidentiality, of course. They're not going to speak too much about this particular thing, so yeah, there's that. So that's basically what I know from what John told me.
And this is another thing. When the post was first made, I spoke to the person. I tried my best to get as much information as possible. Again, I was at a brick wall. I was at a stalemate. The fact that not only the amount of evidence that came out, but the fact that he wouldn't speak about it. I know for a fact that if someone was going to accuse me of doing something like that and I didn't do it, you would hear from me.
Oh yeah, I'd be all over.
Hear from me. I would be all over the internet. Like, look, I did not do this.
I'm innocent. Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing that really kind of brought me to realization about this. A YouTuber named Vloggraze, I saw a comment of his on a post, and he was like, I wish MDA would say something. I'm like, huh. Out of all I was subbed to MDA for a pretty long time, and I'm subbed to Vloggraze. I know that they're friends. Him, Queenie, Phoenix, they're all friends. So if you're not saying anything to someone who's in your closest circle of friends, something is wrong. When you're one of your best friends is like, I wish you would talk to me about what's going on, because obviously I don't know what's going on, and I'm kind of getting worried. And he's just not responding to him. It's kind of like, this is not looking good on his end at all.
Yeah, if I may interject with my own opinions on the situation, it's a case to me of actions speak louder than words, because of the fact that MDA is the very type of person who would make videos on the first case that there would be the accusation against him. But when all of a sudden this comes up, he stays quiet the whole fucking time, and the only people who seem to do anything about it is Queenie and Phoenix, who are justifying it and then going around taking down videos en masse, which speaks to me the validity of these accusations. Because if it was real bullshit, then you would just see him laugh it off in a new video, wouldn't you? As soon as it happens.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. You're absolutely right. Like, why not discredit them instead of flagging them down?
Yeah, why not prove? Why
What
not
is-
gather all of your evidence and destroy?
Hold on, with the flagging of down, is there evidence that it was him that did it, or no?
I mean, kind of like, you know.
I mean, there's no
I
evidence to
know.
prove who flagged a video, but you know, it's still the reasonable assumption thing.
Yeah,
There's only theories, and
Which
there's
is,
about,
I know people have flagged because it was like against Marbles, wasn't it? Whose videos got flagged down?
Mhm.
I think.
Marbles and anybody who re-uploaded his video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: why is he not coming out and giving a huge statement and going, you know, like, no, I didn't flag down those videos. No, I didn't do what has been said. Like, why is he not doing it? I think it's because the mask and the voice changer isn't enough anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
I
something
never
I've
thought of it
noticed,
that way.
a pattern I've noticed with a lot of the videos that are being flagged is that they all involve his face being in them. So
Oh.
somebody does not like.
Well, it could be a.
Somebody doesn't like having their face shown.
It could be
Yeah,
a form of
but
privacy complaint,
If your
but
don't like having their face shown, are they really against it? I
Yeah,
don't like
I can
to say
understand that.
I personally think my sister is a sociopath. Her face is not anywhere online. Yeah, they don't show their face ever.
Because then they're scared that people are going to read them or see into them or find out something. That's usually the case. But, you know, with MDA, he has the cover story of "This is my online persona" thing. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as coming from my perspective in this whole thing, as an outsider looking in, you know, where I'm just getting all this shit, from what I've seen, I mean, when it came to MDA and pedophilic accusations, a lot of them came out of fucking nowhere. You know, it from like Eric, and like he got it from like Saket, and Saket is somebody who I know is a shit starter fuckwit who wants to just spew a bunch of nonsense and skew it in his own way. And so, when this whole thing came up, you know, and considering that the individual that was mentioned in the whole story, or I believe possibly would have been associated with those particular people, that's what caused me even more, or like further sort of skepticism when it came to it. You know,
Yeah, unfortunately,
like when it came to like Marbles and with the whole Makers thing and Makers Island thing, that was sort of a like point where, or you know, those particular groups of people who do that type of shit, who just want to throw shit, and because what happened to Marbles is that this information that was showed him being a pedo was completely falsified. You know, because that's what one can do on the internet. You know, and I mean, the simplest way to like say anything like is genuine and great when it comes to legitimate proof on the internet is to refresh, you know, to show people via like a video like live on Skype or some shit. And I mean, there's ways that definitely would have been like, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that makes this even more like proof is what a lot of you who said, like the evidence is out there and they seem more plausible than not. It's not only that, it's the fact that more people are coming out about it, the silent, you know, and like all of these factors turn into one gigantic clump to make one definitely believe that MDA is guilty of some shit that obviously he ain't exactly too proud of.
And Zach, you made a really good point. You made a really good point because in the video that Lachlan showed about MDA flirting with his mom, yeah, that was a thing. Why would you do that? That is weird.
That's
but,
weird.
I mean, I'm into older women, but like that's weird. You know, like, but he was refreshing the page. Like, oh wow, so this is real. He was doing this. He was refreshing the page. You know, he cut off any option of people thinking, he could be faking it. No, because he refreshed the page, and it turned out to be real.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are just basically making the evidence legit, it doesn't look good on MDA's part at all.
And by the way, one other thing that was brought up in Melly Misfits video. when she was showing her screen, and it showed that he was still being active online. You know, he was active in Messenger, like, you know, at that point, like a few minutes ago. So that shows that he's still, you know, seeing everything and whatnot.
Yeah, he's still seeing everything. Like, he saw my last message I sent him that...
Did it show up as red?
Yeah, it did show up as red.
Ooh.
Yeah, he read my message, and basically I'm telling him, like, hey, dude, this is beyond knowledge of Lachlan and Marbles and that group. They've been saying this shit for years, but they didn't have anything. They didn't put out anything until recently. You might as well either A, fess up, apologize, or B, defend yourself. Just do everything.
I came to Andrew a long time ago and I said, look, everyone's saying this stuff about MDA, what's going on? And Andrew said there's no proof and there's nothing we can do, basically, and I understood exactly where Andrew was coming from. He was right. There was nothing we could do back then.
Yeah, now that more shit is coming out, like, yeah, it's definitely the time to address it, and this is where I want to interject my whole thing on this, because I saw that me and a few of you guys, my friends, were kind of thrown under the bus as pedo predator protectors by a certain group on the internet because of the screenshots that were shared, which literally showed me, Chris, and a couple other people talking with Sammy, like, yeah, we saw a couple of screenshots of what appeared to be MDA doing his thing with this individual that I don't want to name, I don't want to drop because I'm not.
Frost apparently wants in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frost.
Did you want me to give him the link?
Give him the link. But
yeah, Frost is the man.
And Stout, I want to say one thing that you said that I agree with 100%, and even Take Shot said the same thing. If you don't have proof, there's not much you can do.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing with that too is that back then, back when this individual came to me, you, Christopher, and a couple other people about this, it was only a few screen caps, and before then, it was just speculation out of the air. It was literally a few different people talking about it, but back then, they didn't have any sort of information. They had no screen caps, and then later on, you brought up Eric Lee. He showed that one screen cap that was very vague, and then he admitted that he shouldn't have jumped the gun and shared that right away without more context. So that's
and again, I'm just gonna say this because I told this to you and a few others before, like earlier today. Skepticism does not mean you're enabling a certain action. It means that there's not enough evidence for you to take action, so you want to see what's going on before you say it. So
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Skepticism does not equal enabling.
Exactly.
Being skeptic about something and wanting proof and evidence, then saying, "Yeah, bruh, I'm not gonna believe you. MDA won't ever do that, fam. Get fucked." Like no one said that. No one fucking said that.
Look, I got another point to make. If people weren't skeptical, then when these cases go to court, they wouldn't find out the full extent to everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't know how much it happens. They wouldn't know all the details. And that's why it's important to get the facts straight. And that's what Stout told me. He said, look, Take Shot, calm down with this information. You got to stop panicking that, you know, we have a predator in our midst. And like, just take your time, and we'll see, you know, if anything comes up. And if something comes up, we can do something.
And here's the thing about that too, like, these kind of claims come all the fucking time.
All the time.
All the time with public figures like me, you, Take Shot. Like, whether it's innocent flirting, whether you have a fling with a person, it turns into a thing, or so you thought at the time, and then they use that and manipulate shit around, whether they do
that shit.
Or whether you're acting
Hey,
legitimately predatory.
Frost.
Oh, speaking of princesses.
Hey, few quick bullet points. MDA is basically fucked. I'm not going to elaborate as to why, but he is fucked. Just trust my word on
what
that.
is all that you can say about that?
No, he can't.
Legally, I cannot.
Legally.
I'm just gonna say he's fucked.
So the authorities
are
going to take action.
I didn't say that. You said that.
He didn't say anything. He just You know, he just has a little bit of a look. I'll put it this way: Frost just has a little theory that MDA might be fucked. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
and I
just
came up with that theory,
it's
so-
word on the grapevine
didn't
that
break anything.
MDA's fucked.
No, you're in the clear. You're in the clear, Frost. You didn't say anything. I came to that conclusion, so we're good.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm chilling in the hood here, man.
Well, fuck.
Good on you.
I thought it was me. I thought it was me that said that. What are you talking about? What?
But yeah,
I only found out about it today.
it would be one thing if it was just one isolated incident. You'd be like, oh, MDA is just a fucking creep. But no, 5+ women have already come forward, and there's more other people that are going to come out. And then there was that whole conversation that Rep leaked. That's just completely like rape Buffalo Bill style.
This sounds like Toby Turner-esque thing that happened.
Well, no,
like,
it's
nearly
just
half
like
a year ago.
You know, Mitch.
Oh, I mean
if anybody remembers Mitch, he brought up a really good point in one of his videos. I mean, all of his nonsensical bullshit. He was like, you know, nobody really thought MDA's gimmick was there was like nothing behind it. He was just like,
I did. I knew the whole time. I knew because sociopaths like to wear a mask. They like to hide themselves. Everything
Excuse
he
me,
was
sir.
saying to me was sociopath.
Sir, do you mind?
Well, yeah, it's not like Frost has revealed himself ever. So wow.
Well, Frost is like
no.
Dexter. Frost is Dexter. He's fucking
Sorry. Let me make a quick statement. Not everyone who wears a mask on the internet is like that. Frost is the nicest fucking dude I have
Frost
met.
is Dexter Morgan. God damn it.
One of the nicest guys I've ever met, and when MDA would go after me, he would go out of his way to say, "You're a good dude, I don't know why this is happening to you," and he'd come to me every time.
Exactly.
Because they like to wear masks too.
Yeah, but Frost wears a mask because it's like his thing, but then like people like MDA obviously have gone out of their way to kind of...
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna point it straight to the point. I might wear a mask to protect my identity, but I'm not wearing it to fuck little kids. So
anyway, dude, Frost.
Yes.
Yeah, well, everyone who knows.
What were you saying about Mitch? I'm really curious. Oh,
what was I saying about who?
Mitch.
Mitch brought up a point. He said somebody that has a gimmick and he's going to that lengths in order to, you know, disguise his voice, even on Skype and private conversations, he obviously has something to hide. Like hell, like if you're going to look at personal information of mine, I mean, there's already people that like put out my personal information on YouTube. Like I could give a fuck less. Like if you want to come find me, I'll beat your ass. But point blank, MDA will go so far as to when Rep first released his docs and shit, he's like, oh, that's not me. I'm completely in denial. And I'm like, dude, it's obviously fucking you. Like they showed that you're wearing the exact same clothing. He's like, oh no, it's not. I'm like, dude, just drop the fucking act. I'm like, the fact that he's going to commit all these years to this act is very suspicious. And you know, being in calls with him all those years, I never once thought there was an ulterior motive to that. And then thinking back to all the times I was in Skype and hangouts with him with like Tamimi and shit, and all the uncomfortable sexual tension there was, especially with MDA and John Riel and other people, now it all fucking makes sense.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but Shades made a good point about something referring to.
Shades made a good point for the first time in his life.
Anyway, what was the good point I made? Because I forgot.
There you go.
I might have missed
It
this.
literally just slipped my mind. It was there, but it's just fucking. I'll let you know when it comes.
It's like Shade's sex life. It was there and now it's gone. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. I tried to be politically correct. It was never there in the first place.
Oh, how about the projection?
Good.
How about all the projection on Shades?
What?
How about all the projection that was placed onto you?
I can't hear you, dude. You're away from the mic.
I'm here.
Yeah, I can't really hear you. So, like, what were you saying?
Who else is in this thing? Oh, I see Justin, Stout. By the way, Stout, cut your hair. You look like a 1980s reject. I'm sorry.
How about now?
Okay, you sound even further away.
I'm literally 1 inch away from my phone.
Well, it's either that or your like volume's like shit.
How about now?
Nope, still the same.
God damn it.
Can you hear me now?
Anyway,
might have to come in and out of the call.
Yeah, let me do
That sounded sexual.
Yeah.
Trying to come in and out, baby.
Oh, every day.
That'd be the
Honestly,
first time for Shades.
If I want to say something,
I was just about to say, I'd like someone to explain to me the psychology behind the Shades card.
What?
The Shades card?
Wherever the Shades card.
Shades is essentially our punching bag, so that's
Wait.
True, because so
Wait, guys. I need, because take shot. I'm glad you brought that up, because this also stems back to an altercation, not an altercation, but more like a little, tittle tattle here and there in the group between Shades and MDA. Me and Shades were joking around in the group. Shades called me the N-word. He called me nigga.
Because you were misspelling my name.
Yeah. So it's just so it was like okay. So one, I wasn't offended, because if I was, I would be like, dude, that's uncalled for. If I was offended by something, I'll be like, look, I'm offended by it. I'll say it straight up. MDA came out of nowhere and was basically like, well, you're a public figure, you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm just like, well, he was joking with me. Me and Shades are pretty cool.
That's better.
Yeah, me and Shades we're pretty cool, so I don't know why you're making a big deal. He's like, so it doesn't matter, you're a public figure, da. And right now I'm just like, wow, MDA, you're a public figure, and you're not looked at very well right now, And not only that, he got on Shades for using the N-word, which by context could mean something friendly. By context, right? But yet in his video, he was calling someone retarded. Now, last time I checked, retarded was a full-blown negative aspect. Well, you can call someone retarded in a jokative sense, but it's still, oh, wow, that's retarded. Like, of course, it's going to sound bad. You're calling someone retarded. So,
if the people MDA associates with, the people that are already defending him, are like the absolute worst people. You got fucking Queenie sitting here like, oh no, it's Photoshop. It's not. Meanwhile, the chick who pays people $10 to look at her deflated fucking tits. Yeah, it's totally fucking fake. Like, you're not the fake one, Queenie, with your fake wig and your fake eyeliner. Fake this, fake that. You're the fakest motherfucker
let's talk
ever,
about
Queenie.
the statement Queenie made. The thing that supposed to prove something's false pedophile claim or whatnot. The fact that it was in a video, that's fucking M22 Frogger bullshit logic. There,
Queenie just is willing to defend him at anything. You know that.
It's like if it's in a video, that means it's fake. What the fuck?
No, it's the victim mentality. She wants to have. Oh no, MDA could possibly never ever do something like this.
Police, like those two things, not going to the police. Let me explain to you something. People probably do go to the police, and apparently he's fucked, I guess, as quote unquote. He's fucked. But like the thing is, it's really hard to do anything. Anyways, you could go to the police, and they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to look at these chats." Okay.
Well, no. It's interesting you bring up the police thing. Let's look at this as a hypothetical. What we know so far is that the women that he talked to were confirmed to be underage. That right there is a felony. Not only is it just a few underage girls, but there are attempts of him making sexual threats and sexual advancements. That's a couple different counts right there. Not only is he doing it over the computer, that crosses state lines. That's a federal level right there, and there's more issues involved with that too. If he or they were received to him on his computer, that's possession of child multiple accounts of soliciting minors and being in possession of child pornography. And if they were to issue a sweep of his computer and go through his hard drive and actually found more images, that's another count right there.
He's fucked.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, shit happens, man. Especially when you think that you're not going to get away with it.
That it's a false thing because they didn't go to the police. The thing about it is that, for one, deal with this.
The thing about that is that's such an ignorant statement to make. She seems to automatically assume that the person whom they didn't go to the police, that the video being a secondary action to say, hey, look, here's a guy that you thought you could trust online. But it's kind of funny, Queenie, that several people are just now coming out of the woodwork that were afraid to talk about it, and you're the only people still rallying in his corner. MDA is so fucking scared, he hasn't even shown his face on social media in like close to a month. That's got to tell you something right there. He fucking admitted to Andrew that he did it.
And you want to hear something else?
He did it a long time ago.
He doesn't, like, if you go to Messenger when I was still his friend, and Mealy showed this too, right? He was online, actually.
Like,
He never talks to
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Can I just say
that's
something
just what I
about?
was saying. That's just what I was saying about in Melly's video when it showed that he was active, a few minutes ago in her video on Messenger.
Can I just say something very scientific about the antisocial personality disorder? The sociopath has people and things that they use as tools to get what they want and to manipulate to get what they want. And when you're in the grasps of a sociopath, you actually can't see them until they've got you out of their grasp.
But they're so manipulative that you literally don't know.
And so they're so manipulated by this guy. They're gonna defend him until about maybe it could be 7 months down the road, but eventually they will understand.
And it's not even really their fault. They'll turn around in a few months and go, "Wow, I can't believe that he actually managed to do that to me." But I've had this happen to me, and
I've had it happen to me.
him. They're dangerous.
Damien, I want to get a mic sometime. Just letting you know.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
if my tax returns. I'm going to be returning to YouTube, yo.
I'm sorry if you hate my mic quality on this computer.
Also, I wanted to bring one more thing to the forefront.
Dead monkey!
Oh, and
I want to bring one more thing.
Yeah, get the guy in.
Oh,
go
wait,
ahead.
sorry about that.
Stu.
Yeah, because this is kind of important because when Frost mentioned Queenie defending MDA, saying, "Oh, it's fake, it's photoshopped, and all that."
It's not just a defense against MDA. She's willing to go as far as to say that anybody who says anything against MDA is just like a coward and a troll and this and that. Here's the thing. That would be the case if this was to be proven as to be, just a casual somebody, like just casually photoshopped and made it obvious. Not only do we have documented evidence, we have evidence going back all the way to 2013 of him interacting with people, making sexual advances. That not only leads me to believe that his behavior is, but it makes me wonder what else he's done under and past the MDA moniker. That just leaves the entire thing wide open. It's like, well, what else has he done? Because I know all the time, and it never really dawned on me. Like I said, until in Hangouts with him, there'd be chicks that are like 16, 17 years old, and I'm like, the thought didn't cross my mind until now. Say what?
Go ahead, Frost.
We never questioned it. That's
my mind. Yeah, the thought never crossed my mind. What if he's making sexual advances to these like children that are like obvious borderline? Well, I mean, it is illegal, but like they're borderline 18. Point is, like, he's doing the same thing he fucking accused David of all those years ago. For anybody
Exactly! Holy shit!
Yeah.
And when it comes to the whole police thing, this is also something you have to take into consideration. MDA and a lot of us went after this individual that's well known named Onision, and he has done a lot of things involved with underage people, and nothing's really happened to him. So what do you think people will think going to the police might do? Oh, they have this sort of mindset too. That's a thing that I think should be taken into consideration, is that some people might be afraid nothing's going to happen, and
That's what we thought.
They should go to the police, obviously. That's something I will encourage and always want people to do. But, the ignorant statement by Queenie saying, "Oh, they should have went to the police." Bruh, you are a person who's went after Onision multitude of times. You know about fucking Onision, and the fact that he still exists and is doing his thing and is still does bullshit and whatnot, and nothing's happened to him. Like that should be proof enough that none of these people went to the police. It's pure hogwash. Let's be honest. I bet a plethora of people called the cops, called something, and that's something that it's like
he's on record for sure. Onision has to be on record.
That one tweet just blew my fucking mind.
I mean, the thing is, you have
because it was
in the internet. So
Go ahead.
No shit. It's the cops are gonna be called by somebody. All right. Who's that stupid to believe that no one's going to the cops when you're seeing information like this being exposed in the public? I mean, you have to be upset.
Hey, boys and girls, I'm gonna go ahead and step out.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
Hey, by the way, hold on a second.
Love you.
What up?
What he said he was going to go, but now he's going to hold on a
He
second.
said hold on, and then he muted.
Hey, I wanted to have Mrs. Frost say goodbye to you guys too, because she's here with me.
Okay.
You want to say something, dear?
It's Mrs. Frost, and she's out.
I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my night. You guys take it easy.
All right.
Too.
All right. See you later, man.
All right, man.
As I said about the whole
What we learned from that is that MDA is fucked.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is
is the thing is
my issue with this is like this wasn't like some drunken mistake he made, or it's not like a one-off instance when he was 19 or 20 years old. It's like a fucking thing he's indulged in his mind. That to me is disturbing.
He's 25. He's 25, 26.
He's 26.
Yeah.
All right, one at a time, guys. One at a time.
Usually I'm the one that says that.
If I can interject with something, I would like to talk about this because I find this really interesting. I knew MDA for about 2 years. I think he only put me in his live streams a few times. I was kind of his friend on Facebook, but it was never anything like actually knowing him as a person. And knowing that he's been doing this for years, 3, if 4, if not more, is actually really disgusting. Knowing that 2 years has gone by without detecting a potential predator actually going after children for pictures.
You see, I feel bad because I feel like I should have done something back in 2014, really, but I just didn't have anything else to go off of other than someone's word.
Dude, Tech Shot, don't feel bad about not doing anything right away. You would have just looked like a complete fool. And I'm just being completely honest, because if you go,
people would have said that, you're just butthurt because MDA's saying this shit about you. You're just butthurt. You're just biased.
Exactly. He knows who to target. He really does. He's smart cookie.
Well, the thing is that a bunch of evidence is out in place there. Multitude of people are coming out with it. Like, it's why, as quoted by somebody that I may know, I don't know, he's fucked.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to finish one thing that this is in regards to the Shades, and this is also in line to how he's acting now, saying everything is Photoshop, but a certain individual, I'm not going to name him because I don't want to give him any power, I don't want to give him any play in this, made a fake screenshot about Shades saying something outlandishly racist. I'm talking about KKK level type racism.
I've heard the story about this. It was just innocent fun.
No, it wasn't even that. No,
it was worse. No, but you still were friends, so it was innocent.
No. This was photoshopped to
look
like
saying
some KKK race.
It was basically No.
I'm talking about something else. Sorry.
No. It's referring to the evidence. No, take shot. You're referring to the evidence, quote unquote, that MDA had outside of the Photoshop Facebook post of calling Chris the N-word.
That you're racist. You get along with your friend well, basically.
Yeah, but the Photoshop Facebook post was basically saying something along the lines of, "Oh, gays can get married now. That's cool, I guess. Maybe the blacks will stop destroying their towns," or something along those lines. I don't remember it, but it was.
No, that was perfect. That was exactly what it said. That was exactly what it said. Yeah,
anyway,
that was exactly what it said.
It was not very good spelling, not very good grammar, and not exactly, my speaking style, my
You're an intellectual.
Or whatever. It's just really obnoxious.
It would be like if I'm the one who said it.
Exactly. It's not your fault. That's
and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because MDA completely backed it up. He's like, "Oh wow, I can't believe he said this," and I'm just like,
"He went off."
How do you know that? And then when it was exposed as fake, instead of apologize, okay. At this time, Shades and MDA they weren't very cool with each other. Mm-hmm. But it's like this: if I accuse someone I don't like, if I accuse someone I don't like of doing something wrong, and I was wrong, I'm gonna be a man and take the L and say, "Look, I was wrong." He backpedaled. He was just like, "Oh well, it could have been this, it could have been that," and I'm just like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah, freaking. That's
all the guy had to do was turn around, put out a video, say, "I fucked up. I'm going into a get help."
He could do that, but he's not going to do that. And and as far as the screen cap goes, that's why I always say, like, don't just rely on a couple of screen caps. Just wait for more shit to come out before giving a full opinion on something. Like, if you see more and more patterns, like, I'm not talking about an isolated incident or a couple of isolated incidences. Wait for more shit to come out and wait for patterns to start forming.
And the only other thing that the guy had on me was the fact that I called Chris the N-word. That's all he had.
And you did it in a joking context. Hell, I fucking...
Context didn't even matter.
Exactly, dude.
It's the context behind something, not what was said. And I said the same thing about PewDiePie saying the N-word. There's context.
Yeah.
I wasn't offended by it. I was cracking up when he called me that. I'm just like, did he really? Wow, Shades. I was
Shades, because he's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, I was just like, really? That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I can have an edgy sense of humor at times, but
yeah. But you're one of the nicest people we have, so if you say it, it's just like, oh, that's funny, you know. Like, I mean, it's context.
That's what I said.
And I would never, I would never go out of my way to offend somebody like Chris. He's an awesome freaking guy. I love him. So no homo. So
look at my African American unsung loner. Look at my African American. That's my African American.
Yes, Chris, you're my slave. I'm your master.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Your name is Toby.
That's like saying that's like calling me a convict or something if you're my friend because I'm from Australia. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
I would love
Zach, are you trying to say something?
I know it's funny. It's funny. Right? Yeah. But I get it.
I thought I saw Zach's mouth move and I couldn't hear if he was saying anything.
I think he.
He just spoke. Yeah, because his audio got.
Yeah. I'd like to say about it's a huge problem. I've noticed people saying that those who hide their face or voice is somehow always going to be a pedophile or a monster or a predator.
I shouldn't have said that so bluntly before. I wasn't trying to make a blanket statement there. I was just saying with him in particular, I had a bit of a vibe.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the thing is that there is going to be people like MDA who do that, which is an unfortunate factor that you have to consider.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I hide my face and whatnot, I don't care about my voice to hide it, but the reason why I'm subconscious about showing my identity because I prefer keeping my real life and internet life as separate as possible, and I don't.
And that's what I've heard from most people who don't show their face.
Yeah, and I'm a private person in real life, a very private person.
Can you hear me?
And
yes.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
The thing is too is that I don't like the idea of like having political opinions I've been said and then having that traced back to my house and having God knows what would happen to me if, let's say, a group.
Yeah, good point, man. That's scary. Your country scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, being protective of your personal information, that is, you know, a good thing to do on the internet and all that. I just say whatever I want. I feel untouchable from the U.S. government, but I know I'm not. They would end me in a second. I'd never see it coming either, and there would be no way to detect that they did it.
And the funny thing, I like using my avatar pictures because they're actually cute. So it's not like you're looking at some dude's ugly face. I'm not necessarily ugly, but I'm nothing special. I'm saying stupid shit.
Sure.
But still, yeah.
I get that, Kaz. I mean, you are someone that's protective of your personal information, not because you really have anything to hide, but because you're just playing it safe.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are gonna turn around and say, look, me and MDA share this in common, but you have to understand I'm not MDA for a while because we spent years relating to the guy, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, a good chunk of us had some sort of relationship with him. Like he made an intro for me. He made a couple of my thumbnails. I've been in a few of his Skype calls and hangouts. And I've talked to him about some personal stuff too. So to see all this shit come out and people talking about this, like I said at first, when it's just people talking, it's like I said. Freaking YouTubers, public figures get accused of this all the time. So if you're just spouting out bullshit without anything to back it up, you just
I did something wanting to do for a while.
it's like you can't do anything for a while until more and more crap comes out. Like until you get more context as to what happened, and when more and more crap started coming out, like yeah, that one Imgur that reps on an Undertaker share that fucking did it for me. Like that shit. Like there's dirty talk, there's rough talk, there's BDSM talk, there's all this other shit, and then there's
He was very aggressive in that. I saw that video today.
Can I just do something real quickly? His intent was not to put it in their bums! What? Sorry, I've been waiting to do that for so long. And anyone who knows what I'm referring to is laughing their ass off, probably. So that's
I don't know what you're referring to.
You sure?
No.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay, it's probably nothing.
It's someone you don't like, Shades. It's someone you do not like.
I know who it's. I think I know that, but I don't know what the context is.
Oh, okay.
The context is that the person's defending him to no end. So I'm just, yeah.
Like 14 people watching.
You know, I wasn't expecting Phoenix to do it either. I wasn't expecting Phoenix.
I like the guy. He's a nice guy.
Phoenix, I think, is more so defending Queenie. It seems because the post that I saw him make was that people are stalking Queenie. Really, people going to her Twitter simply to see what the fuck she tweeted is fucking stalking. Because the post that I saw him make was that people are stalking Queenie. Really, people going to her Twitter simply to see what the fuck she tweeted is fucking stalking. Because the post that I saw him make was that people are stalking Queenie. Really, people going to her Twitter simply to see what the fuck she tweeted is fucking stalking. Because the post that I saw him make was that people are stalking Queenie. Really, people going to her Twitter simply to see what the fuck she tweeted is fucking stalking.
Yeah.
What is that?
Somebody had the stream playing in the background.
It's alright. I was just saying, like, she's been the most manipulated by. She's been the most manipulated, and now that I think about it, we actually shouldn't be insulting her. We should. A lot of people should be trying to help her. Now she doesn't like me, so that's
I don't know. I like to try to help people who seem to, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like maybe the thing is that she's so naive about this situation, or look naive and just like fucking just trying to come up with every fucking excuse in the book. Like again, that one fucking tweet was like yeah, let's just throw everything away and just say fuck it. Like it's pretty much like like that first thing, and if it's in a video. Like, this was like when I dealt with back into the past, guys. Like, where he was like, it's not doc dropping unless it's in the fucking video. Like, really, nigga?
Racist! Zach, you're racist. You're exposed.
Well, whatever. I have saying that you're gonna put Chris in like the cornfield or whatever.
Actually, I'm pretty sure, like, Skull, you actually, I think, experienced this firsthand with the Onision's address thing, because everyone was trying to get animal control to his house, so we tried to put his we tried to put his address in the description, and then everyone said it was dox dropping. So that's bringing up an example. So
yeah. I mean, speaking about Queenie, I never really knew her too much. I'm actually good friends with Phoenix because he's a cool guy. I would say he was the reason.
I expect better from Phoenix, to be honest.
He was the reason why
he's a very logical man. It doesn't make sense.
And the thing is,
Continue, Cass.
The thing is I can understand why he's defending Queenie because that's someone he loves, and regardless if what she's doing is wrong, he's going to defend her because of all the shit she's getting for a stupid statement. But at the same time, he has to take into consideration that she's basically trying to defend someone for pedophilia or being a predator.
Yeah, and this is someone that Phoenix is fixing to marry, so yeah, I do understand him defending her and all that.
I understand more so where Phoenix is coming from, though the statement is still very ignorant. Yeah. You know, to say someone's stalking somebody based on the fact that they skimmed a Twitter. Like, apparently I'm stalking somebody every
I
time
mean,
I want to see what the amazing atheist is tweeting about. Whoops, I'm apparently a fucking stalker, TJ.
I mean, your posts are public, so how exactly is it stalking if the shit...
No, stalking would be like if I have like her page open all the time, I'm like, oh yeah, let me favorite that.
That would be like if one of my ex-girlfriends was like obsessively watching my videos or something like that. But if someone doesn't like me and they do what I have to say, or they detest a lot of the things about me, and they don't like me as a person, then I'm stalking.
Let's see what the dictionary definition of stalking is.
Oh, I looked up the definition of stalker. It's someone who is... Oh, it's a long definition. You're gonna have to read it out. Yeah.
Let's see. What? Oh well, never mind. I mean, it doesn't really. Let's see. Hold on.
It's in my first YouTube video on my channel. If anyone wants to know the definition as well, that's funny. My first ever video has the definition of stalker because of the Onision.
Oh yeah, stalking is the act of an instance of stalking or harassing another in an aggressive, often threatening, and illegal manner. Hold on, guys.
It's illegal. It's illegal to look at someone's public Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna definitely harass Queenie when I look at her Twitter, guys.
It's illegal to look at someone's public fucking Twitter.
It's not stalking unless she asks for it.
Like that's the definition of stalking via dictionary.com. So I mean,
God damn.
I mean, unless you consider harassment at people talking about her one tweet. I mean, I'm sorry, your one tweet is one of the most retarded statements I've ever seen.
Read out the definition again. Am I actually stalking Onision? What the fuck?
Stalking, act of an instance of stalking or harassing another in an aggressive or often threatening and illegal manner.
Oh, so maybe I am.
Well, maybe he has a point of his haters stalking him, I guess.
Yeah.
Onision will be the type to stalk himself and then report himself. Like,
yep. He would be the type of person from his video saying "fuck Onision," and then Onision would then respond to that video.
And he'd be like, "It's the truth, accept it."
Well, yeah, Onision like responds to himself like, "Yeah, there's this dude who's anonymous on the internet called Darkboy64 who made a video on me. So bullshit. Look at what this piece of shit said about me. Such a fucking idiot.
He's my identical twin. He's a piece of shit."
Look at it. Like,
well, I mean, he would like do an MDA-esque thing, right? He would just disguise his voice and shit, and it would be like darkness or whatever. So with nobody who's smart would not know who it was, you know.
He said something.
I can see Onision legitimately doing that shit. I'm giving him ideas. Fuck.
Yeah, he said something like a fucking green screen, and he's just like, "This is my twin brother," and then like all of a sudden Onision dies and is replaced by his twin. He's done no crimes.
Yeah. This actually reminds me of a very, 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 very great memory. Not to deviate too much, but who remembers the ranty meal?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was I hated that.
Very, very great memory.
He was a
not to deviate too much, but who remembers the ranty meal?
Take shots.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was I hated that. I wished that only everything upon him, and I hope he gets sodomized in every way. He is the worst. The worst. I hate him.
Hey,
everything upon him, and he was
the VIP group.
I shared it in the VIP. I shared it in the VIP group earlier.
In case anyone's curious, I'm the
ranty. We have a lot of
meal.
viewership for this, more so than I thought we would.
Yeah.
I wasn't attacking a random person. I'm actually the ranty meal. In case anyone thinks I'm an asshole.
Someone at a time, please. Chris was saying something.
Wait, no, but I didn't hear your answer, Stout.
Oh, you did? How about, can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me?
Okay, let me raise the volume because I'm about to like head out because I have to go to work tomorrow. But like, I just want to know if it's gonna be on in the group so I can at least watch it and then like just head.
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm heading out now. I kind of said what I needed to say about my side of the situation.
All right, dude.
All right, man.
Good night, Bert.
Yeah, this is my first live stream. This was my first live stream, and it's been real.
Congrats, man!
Welcome
I'm sorry
to the
about something so dark.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Night, man.
See you, Chris.
I'm not
See ya.
in the chat right now. I probably should have done that earlier. didn't realize.
Yeah, there's a lot of people commenting on the chat now. Like we have 17 viewers. Pretty.
That's pretty good.
If anyone has the capabilities of doing this, please, for the love of God, mirror this video if it gets taken down, because I bet your ass it probably will.
How does one mirror a hangout? That seems like it would take a long time to do.
I put the live stream on recorded, so as soon as it's done, it's going to process, and it's going to have the whole thing recorded, with the recorded version being posted not too long after.
Yeah. I will add this to the archives.
Right.
Holy fuck, we do got a lot of comments.
Yeah, look at this.
I haven't actually.
Yeah, I also shared the stream. I also shared the stream on my page, so...
Yeah, me too.
This is like the first time I have this many comments.
Mr. James Cash is saying he's going to download it.
Nice.
As soon as it's up.
Thank you.
Let's see. Lots of comments about Queenie.
Yeah.
Mainly about her voice.
I don't really care about
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, her accent made it hard for me to watch her
voice. I mean, I'm somebody who generally
I'm not gonna lie, her accent made it hard for me to watch her voice.
I mean, I'm somebody who's so fucking bad for you, but I mean what? Oh god. I hate that the freaking live stream decides to press play whenever it fucking wants to. It's like
whenever the page reloads, it does that.
I hate hearing my own voice and stuff. Like when it comes to the Queenie stuff, right? I never actually ever insulted her about her voice until she decided to be a prick to me, and then I just couldn't stop.
Yeah, I never had much experiences with her other than that. It's just like you don't really talk to her because most of her stuff is like you have to be friends with her to talk, and she's very similar to that. So.
Yeah. One thing I actually want to bring up about Queenie. I don't know if anybody's mentioned this yet. But yeah, I mentioned him. The person Queenie is, being really emotional about the situation.
Yeah.
And blindly defending. When aren't there two people in this stream that she accused of doing the same thing with Repsion?
I don't really know about Queenie, but if MDA makes a video, I'm definitely going to make my own video about it. That's for sure. I know if you
Everyone who MDA manipulated is going to have a seriously hard time, and they're going to probably need a lot of counseling, and it's going to be really fucked up because they basically are living in a world of contradictory, extreme hypocrisy and all sorts. We tried pointing it out to them before. All they do is abuse you for it.
Mortified Productions. Queenie to me does come off as fake with her personal life.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make a video either. I mean, unless he's like has this freaking ball he's about to drop, or amazingly, this turned out to be one big prank. But I highly doubt that's the thing.
Yeah. What I hope he does, if he actually makes a video, I want him to do what Creationist Cat did when he got doxxed. And basically just address the issue, and, whether or not he continues to make videos or whether he leaves, that's entirely up to him. But Creationist Cat, when he got doxxed by Atheism is Unstoppable, he addressed the situation, made his real identity part of his gimmick, with, his worthless human slave. If anybody watches his content, I think it's really awesome. And also saying that, Vadim doesn't give a fuck. And so he handled the situation with class. MDA is not handling this with class.
No.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw something out there just quickly. If this was a big elaborate hoax and prank, I would be even more pissed off, and I would never stop making videos against this motherfucker. These are children. We take children seriously in society. You can't fuck with this shit. If this is a prank, cut it out. That's basically it.
Yeah. If it's a prank, it's taken way too far.
It's gone too far.
That's why I doubt it at this point.
It's just a prank, bro. Come on.
Look, I guess because everyone's defending him, it really can't be.
Sam Pepper card.
Yeah.
That put Sam Pepper.
Yeah.
The Sam Pepper card. It's a social experiment.
It's the one that would make Sam Pepper run for
She said it. She said the Sam Pepper card, and I just went, oh! I'm not sure if you heard it.
Well, you didn't put that prank live on for the stream to get more views. Top 10 pranks for MDA.
I'm not that much of a viewer.
Here you go. More views.
Yeah, CC did a great job of addressing it. Says Robotnik22. Indeed, he did.
Look, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be more pissed. I'd be pissed off in a different way because I'd be happy that no one got hurt, but I'd be pissed off in a whole nother way, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be more pissed off. That's not right. I'd be you get what I mean? Sort of. Yeah, I can't really articulate it well. It's more a mental state.
I'm gonna address the comment right here. Yeah, as I said before, she comes across as very fake. She doesn't really have a lot to offer in terms of a lot of things, in my opinion. When Queenie makes her videos, to me, it's just come and watch her videos or some shit.
Look at these teeth.
I mean, if you're gonna, you know, use a bit, if you're gonna, you know, have a sex appeal to your content, you know, that's all well and good. Girl Does Rant, and no one really has a problem with Girl Does Rant doing that. But the difference between Girl Does Rant and Queenie, to me, is that Queenie doesn't have as much of a personality or a presentation.
Well, here's my problem: is that Queenie like does it to an ultimate level,
and then she's in denial. She's in denial.
Like, I swear, hold on. Let me just go to her fucking.
I just wanted to say something. Queenie got called a boob tuber once, and didn't she like cry and make a big deal out of it? And someone got in like a lot of trouble with her.
I remember MDA made a video about that, or something.
Yeah, and she denies being a boob tuber, but she knows what she's doing.
Hold on. Let's read literally 6 of her fucking streams that she did. Titties and Tatas. First boob stream of 2017. The big boob shake before Christmas Eve. Xmas titties and booby shaking. Boobs bounding to the triggered. Boobs are literally Hitler.
He is obsessed with the
titties and booby shaking. Boobs bounding to the triggered. Like, you know, boobs are literally Hitler. They aren't like what's that? I get
he is
the
obsessed
argument
with
is
the
boobs bounding to the trigger. Like, you know what? They aren't like on the screen. I guess people will click just to see that, whatever. But the fact is that when you want to show yourself and want to, you know, express who you are, I would think people would want to click the video for you and what you're doing instead of these round things that happen to be attached to your chest. Like that's the thing that I'm pretty much saying. Like, sure, there might not be inevitably wrong with it, but the thing is that you have to realize people are clicking not because of you personally. They don't care about your personality. They care about your tits.
Oh, speaking of that, if you're gonna show your tits in your videos and whatnot, at least have something else to bring to the table. Girl Does Rant has something to bring to the table. Queenie, unfortunately, just doesn't.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Oh my god, Damien's comment.
Yeah.
Can I say why it's definitely not a prank? It's definitely not a prank because then all of his friends would be aware of what was going on, and no one knows what's happening at all. Absolutely no one other than him. So that's kind of.
Well, I don't know. Well, the thing is that their friends could be in on it if it was a prank.
Yeah,
and they might be going along with it. They've done this. Well, they've done something somewhat similar before, where Queenie doxed him, and they're being somewhat serious. But I mean, it's gone too far to be a prank.
Yeah. I remember you and me, Zach. We both kind of felt that.
Fuck you for trying to steal our idea. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
She seems to regurgitate shit that's already been said. Yeah, she does. Like, I cannot even remember the last time Queenie said anything actually original. Like, that's how bad it is. I guarantee you, I can go through a video, and it's barely anything new, barely anything understandable. I mean, it's not bad to regurgitate something when there's a good reason for it, or to put 2 and 2 together to regurgitate something and then make something new out of it. but nothing about Queenie to me comes across as intellectually smart or honest.
No, me either.
She's
Me either.
the opposite on all those things. She's like very dishonest. And
I once argued with her for over an hour about how your intent doesn't always, like, if you intend to do something, right? Alright, this is gonna sound stupid. Everyone understands this except for her, I swear. Alright? If you intend to do something, can there sometimes be negative repercussions to your actions regardless of your intent? Yes.
I would usually go
Yes.
and say the road to hell is often paved with good intentions type of argument.
Exactly. So sometimes you could intend to do something really good. You know, you could intend to, oh, look, we have mass production because we have slaves. My intent wasn't to make slaves and make them suffer. It was to build stuff. You don't get it. That's her.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand what an adverse reaction to an intention is.
Yeah, I can understand it. It sounds to me more like it's all practicality, no morality, but then that's a completely different topic. But yeah.
It's all about her emotion center.
Yeah.
She displays every single trait of a person with a borderline personality disorder, like I had in the past or might still have. I haven't gone to check.
Yeah, exactly. James Cash says that every action you make in real life has both positive and negative.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. So yeah.
And it tends to be people who get abused by sociopaths or abused by other borderlines turn into borderlines or sociopaths a lot of the time, and that's how it usually starts, is from abuse. So, if you...
And it results
Yeah, it is.
in Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, and so in this position, Queenie has been fucked in the head to the point. Maybe she was borderline before, I don't know, but she's definitely very borderline now. And if MDA had a part in that, I really wouldn't be surprised, because that's what they do to people. They make them rely on them, lean on them, feel like they need them. And MDA had a platform in which he could draw people in and manipulate as many people as he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I'm concerned with, because how long has he been doing this under everyone else's noses? And I come across a theory, since he's the only, because like, as Mealy showed, he was online a lot when these allegations happened, and I always kind of wondered if I were to go completely just conspiracy theory on you, and just assume that he hangs out with people like Queenie, just because she's easily exploiting, he can easily exploit her as a friend to say bullshit, and then parrot a lot of stupid tweets in order to defend him, and get people to defend him, even if he's being wrong.
Yeah, he parrots her.
Yeah.
Queenie's a parrot.
And it seems like she's reliant, and he's trying to be manipulative and trying to rely on her to deflect everything, or she's just doing it because she just doesn't really give a shit. Or
He used her because she's a strong woman, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, because Queenie can be very,
She's a good tool to have if you're a sociopath. Let's put it that way.
Alright. You're saying that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the word is, what I would call her, because the thing is that she has some form of intelligence, definitely, but she has like a very coy way of like the way she handles certain things, the way she deals with people.
Yeah.
She
tends to handle things in a very emotional way.
Well, she's very condescending in holier art thou.
Yeah, she was condescending to me, condescending to Reese, condescending to other people.
She was telling me to just change, like it was like somehow a thing, and it's like, it doesn't happen like that overnight, Queenie. You have to give me time and like understand that you don't know me in my personal life, and that if you maybe ask my friends, they might tell you that I'm starting to change, And that to me was kind of fucked up, because she was entirely thinking with her emotion center. That's all she does, and that in itself sounds like a borderline personality disorder to me.
I am witness to this with you, Mr. Reese.
Yeah.
What I will also say is that maybe this is going to be an assumption, the same way that assuming people's identity is an assumption, but sometimes you can tell exactly who that person is by the type of friends that person hangs out with and solely hangs out with. Because he solely hangs out with people like me. And knowing that he completely dishes people like Ray and almost everyone else, he goes with people like me too, as his friends. I remember accusations of people saying, yeah, I got unfriended by MDA a while ago, not too long ago after these accusations came out. It makes me seem like he's trying to burn bridges just so he can save his skin and trying to get some of his friends on defending him. And I think in circumstances like that, I can definitely say that that's a circumstance where, depending on the person, people that you have with, tell exactly who that person is. If that person might be somewhat smarter than most of their friends, and most of their friends are manipulating for anything. It seems to say a lot, in my opinion.
It's all for personal gain. And it's about what they give to you, and how those material objects somehow have binded you into a contract where you need to have their back for the rest of their life. And that was the whole thing about my Onision and this fucking for personal gain. Like, look, I got a flat screen, I got a pool table. Doesn't mean you didn't want to chain her in the fucking basement, you douche. Like, it does. I don't care if your basement has a fucking flat screen bigger than the, a fucking Jupiter's fucking cock. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Flat screen, I got a pool table. Doesn't mean you didn't want to chain her in the fucking basement.
In a nice room.
It wouldn't. It was a punishment.
It was a punishment room. And see, this is the thing. It wasn't a BDSM thing where he's like, oh, well, I kind of get off on this. Would you like to do it? And she's like, yeah. It was like, you have to suffer, and you have to, really suffer for what you've done to me.
And you're boring if you don't.
And you're boring if you don't want to. Or into forcing her into sex. It was so fun. Anyway, we're here to talk about MDA. Sorry. I get on Onision's ass all the time. I'm so sorry.
Fucking one-trick pony.
What else should they expect from you?
Right. Yeah, my partner just said that's kind of expected of me, and you will kind of expect that anyway, so.
One question I have now is that I've seen some people address the situation of MDA, but I haven't seen Vlogray's stating his opinion on this. I've seen Vlogray's comment on a couple posts about this, from what I'm aware.
On a couple of threads, and it was on Pokebrony's Facebook in particular, and Pokebrony was talking about it, and Vlogray.
Wait, Pokebrony exists? What?
Mortimer, that's him.
Okay,
didn't know that?
one at a time.
I did not know that.
Where the fuck have you been, Zach?
Jesus.
I did not even know that at all.
You didn't know you didn't know that Pokebrony was back and that was him?
I didn't know either.
I thought that guy was dead.
I thought he had to get off because of his parents.
Okay, let me tell my fucking story, please. Okay, so Vlogray's, he commented on Mortimer's post, Pokebrony's post, and he basically was explaining, hey, he was trying to reach MDA, and MDA hasn't been reaching out to his closest friends, so yeah, for this whole thing to be a quote-unquote prank, as one of you hypothetically brought up earlier, that would be completely impossible. But yeah, like, if Vlogray's isn't being reached out to or being ignored by MDA, like, that's really telling of what the fuck is going on. And as far as anyone that's making anyone making a fucking comment about, oh, why haven't they said anything about MDA yet? Oh, why not? Okay, first of all, there's a life beyond this fucking internet shit, for one, and for two, some people want to get more evidence. Some people want to get more information before they can really talk about this, because we stressed this fucking point in this goddamn post earlier. You can't do shit with one photo or two photos. Like, Hell, when more shit came out with the 22-page fucking conversation where MDA was being sociopathic with that girl, and all this other shit started coming out, like, yeah, you obviously have a case right there. But if it's a couple of photos, an isolated incident or whatever, you can't do shit. So don't harp on people for asking questions. Don't harp on people that are skeptical as to what's going on at first, because this is something you have to take fucking seriously. The fact that you're taking it so seriously to the point where you're skeptical, whereas we have people that tell you to believe the first claim that you hear. You can't just believe the first claim that you hear, because what if they're out to manipulate a public figure just for their own 15 seconds of e-fame? Because this goes on all the fucking time with public figures. This goes on all the time with YouTubers. There are people that, hell, this has happened to me a couple times.
It's happened to me too. It's happened to both of us from the same person.
Not to go too deep into this, not to go too deep with my personal shit. I've been through some stuff a couple times. Me being a public figure and all that shit. I went through a thing where someone was trying to defame my character. I proved my deep into this. Too deep with my personal shit. I've been through and all the other people that they were going out to. And the fact that I was able to do that, they know my fucking character for the shit that I've been called out on YouTube or whatever in the past, which was rare. But nonetheless, if there's something that I need to address, whether in the comment section or in the video or whatever, I will fucking address it the best I can. But the fact that MDA hasn't said anything on something, I was able to do that. They know my fucking character for the shit that's pretty fucking tough. He's had all of this fucking time, and that's something that I've tried. I wanted to get that through to his head. I wanted to get that through to Phoenix when I was talking with him about it too. Like, he has to fucking address this. I get that they want to defend their friend. I get that. But going on almost 2 weeks without saying anything, you better be getting all of your fucking facts and fucking proving everyone wrong. You better be doing that, because otherwise you're fucked.
Even just speaking, even just talking and saying, look, what this person's saying isn't true is just enough. You don't even always have to have evidence to turn around and just make your point. As long as you put your point out there, that's your stance, you know? Like, I've had women make so many false allegations against me. One woman in particular, I'll say. One woman in particular. And then there's been other women online, which are separate incidents. But in my real life, I've had one woman make so many false allegations against me. It's disgusting. But online, I've had, you know, some women who go out and just say the most fucked up shit that they're not even telling the full story to people. And it's like, well, if anyone came to me and asked me, I'd tell them that because, you know, I have nothing to hide. I'm telling the truth. So it's like,
yeah, pretty much anyone that knows me, you, or anyone in this chat, like, they know that a good chunk of that stuff is just wish-wash bullshit. And you present yourself enough, like, you don't even have to present every scrap of evidence, but it's just a matter of addressing the issue at hand and just how you articulate your points and how, yeah, you show enough evidence, of course, but it's the way you present yourself. It's how consistent you are with your points.
Yes.
There's so much more that adds to it than just showing a couple screen caps and whatnot. But yeah, fucking MDA, dude, fucking either apologize or fucking prove everyone that's calling you out wrong. Yeah, you show enough evidence, of course, but it's
especially when you've been known to talk about really small shit in the past on your fucking channel, like people not liking your Google Hangouts and other small things.
That is a pretty small fucking
I often tend to assume the worst about people who jump the pedophile gun, because when they do, it's almost like I get this weird thing in my head, like you're supplying it because you're denying it, sort of thing, and that scares me because so many people are so willing to just jump on that and use it, and I swear they use it to make themselves like look better, you know?
Yeah.
Denying it to supply it themselves, yeah, because then they get put into a position where they're seen as not that, and they can then supply that themselves out of their own fucked up.
That.
She's seen it. She reckons. Yeah.
Won't go into who it is. I've seen that.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Won't go into who it is. I've seen that.
What else is there to say?
I guess. I think we spend well over.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say. We need to stop making fun of his friends. All right, and I mean this very seriously. What they're going through is a seriously... I kept doing it, and I feel like shit now that I think back on it, because what they're going through is a seriously emotional, fucked up time. They're going to be in denial. They're going to be...
Sure, but it's what they doing are still enabling it. What Queenie with that one tweet said is still pure asinine bullshit. I don't see why we should not go after them.
No.
It takes us until they're completely ripped, and it takes a long time because sociopaths plant seeds in people's heads, and they let them grow and grow and grow over time, and they make themselves. It's like you know, it's really, really hard for some people to see the sociopath behind the friend that they had. And that's a really long mental process. It took me a long time to see it for myself.
It took me a really long time after I left New South Wales to realise that my sister was a sociopath. That took me at least 6 months of being away from her to really understand what happened to me, to be like, okay, I get it now. I finally understand why she acted the way she did. It took about 6 months for it to fully come through. It's hard.
Yeah, and as far as the whole Queenie thing, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with addressing her tweets and calling her out for the tweets, but you got to look at it in a, like what Take Shot was saying, like, these are people that have seen MDA as a friend for a really long time. Like, whether you have a friendship with someone, whether you have some sort of bloodline connection with them, like, of course there's going to be that part of you that wants it all to be a lie. There's going to be a part of you that doesn't want any of this to be true.
I definitely understand with that, because I definitely know for that fact.
Yeah, there will be denial for a bit until realization.
It's
like certain things need to particularly happen in order for them to really see. Like MDA has to do something to necessarily them for them to inevitably realize something for to happen.
Because his manipulation is continuously going on, they'll never be able to see it until he's completely gone. Like,
it's going to take a little bit too, and when I agree with you. They can't they can't keep denying it forever, but maybe for a little bit we'll let them.
It's like the stages of grieving and all that. You're in denial first, and then you sort of it becomes like a bit of a growing acceptance and all that.
Because they spent every day with this guy, 8 to 10 or something hours a day in a Skype call every day. We know what they were like, We used to be in their Skype calls every now and then. But we were never really a part of their group or anything like that. We just got bored in every now and then. I honestly think to be fucked with a little bit sometimes. And sometimes they genuinely wanted to be friends with us. But other times, no, I think they wanted to get something out of us. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, I'm going to address a few comment here. It says MDA is a sociopath, not a psychopath. Yeah, there's a difference there. Kinda. If you see someone with both of those, it's not a good time.
There's
Really
another question. Alright, how long before he snaps and we have another serial killer on our hands?
Serial killer?
Well, let me tell you, Onision would have killed people by now.
That's so true.
Oh god.
Yeah, you would think that things are escalating for Onision, what he's doing, so I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes like the Ted Bundy or
Ted Bundy.
A fucking YouTuber or something.
Watch, like, Queenie is actually MDA.
He's gonna be John Gacy dressed up in a clown suit.
don't worry, he's fucked.
The way that I reckon that Onision sees it is like, well, even if I did get locked up for my fucked up shit, I'll always have little girls to fuck. But with MDA, it's like, well, if I get caught, I'm fucking up everyone. So I actually see your concern here.
Yeah. The thing with these people going crazy is that without help, they'll escalate. And I think with Onision's case, he's going to definitely escalate. If the whole thing with his ex wanting to lock her up in his basement for over a week with the tattooed "I'm a liar" on her ass cheek is any indication that things are gonna go really fuckery in the next few people that he ends up being with.
I just wish something would be done.
He'll have a hard time in there. He's gonna have a fucking hard time being a sex offender in there. He is going to...
He's always gonna have his cult to rely on, which is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that's my issue with it, is that he's not going to be able to get help because everyone's going to be bashing him and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not actually going to be able to get help, you know?
And MDA's cult at this point is pretty much just Queenie and Phoenix.
I don't even know Phoenix, but definitely Queenie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, because outside of them, I'm not... Because outside of them, I'm not really seeing anybody else, you know, defend him at all.
Yeah, aside from like a couple people making comments about Maylee's wardrobe, like there was that one comment that she showed where this guy was criticizing her wardrobe, and he's like, "Oh, you need to dress more formally to be taken more seriously when you're talking about."
Oh, well, that's just an ad hominem, so...
That's stupid.
That's like saying that because my skin's all greasy and I haven't showered, my words hold no relevance.
Is that true?
I showered yesterday, but I still I like to have a shower twice a day. So I showered last night, and I just
making sure, because you know.
Charles Manson type.
Yeah, but
These young boys is Charles Manson, basically. That's what I should have mentioned. But another comment. It's between him and Vegan Gaines that I see becoming future serial killers. I think Vegan Gaines is already at that point. If any indication with his grandparent, what happened in that one time would be anything. Because I'm not convinced that it was a simple accident.
you want to know something that's been a constant throughout this whole thing? I like to say that this whole shit started with Brett Keane and is now at the MDA point. And you know, like about our community and all that. Like that's how I see it, because I came into it in 2013, so I was late, and I came into it while it seemed like for years everyone was talking about Brett Keane, and then as soon as a bunch of people started popping up out of nowhere, like everyone sort of just let it go, and we started talking about Onision. Onision's the one constant in all of this, by the way.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing we've been doing, the one constant is him. And that's the name that gets brought up.
Either Brett Keane or, you know, Onision or any of the quote-unquote YouTubers.
I remember like a few years when I was watching the whole ranting community thing back when it's not as desolate as it used to be. Brett Keane was a very popular one to make fun of for a few years because all the really cringy.
Like back in the old.
Still a topic.
Yeah, like back in the old school ranting community, he was a thing. And all that.
That's why I see him as the star.
Depends on who you consider the old school ranting community, because if we consider TJ among those,
TJ is kind of considered above those, and people that were like on YouTube before all of us, basically. So
he's the ancient
TJ.
He's like the ancient dead race of like ranters that have been almost awakened sometimes.
Well, TJ has been talking about. On the Drunken Peasants, they always like to mention Brett Keane.
Yeah, Brett Keane is still joking about.
Well, not anymore. They actually decided to go on because they had a segment on their thing called the Brett Keane Situation Individuals segment.
Yeah.
It's because of them. I always have to say Situation Individual.
Yes.
Burger King.
Yeah. Even though it was always funny when they joked about Brett Keane, at the same time I always thought, can you please stop giving them this much attention?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like with Onision, but
yeah,
they said they were going to stop giving Brett Keane attention for like a couple of months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, they said they were doing that for that was one of the things they're doing for 2017. It's gonna stop talking about that.
Oh my freaking god, Kita! Oh my freaking god! And Anna.
Burger King!
Burger King! That meme.
I swear, because this is what we're doing, right? We start calling Onision Onion, we start calling Brett King Burger King. We don't know if it upsets them, but we keep going in case it does.
You're sounding robotic.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I missed that.
I was just saying, you probably could understand it anyway, couldn't you?
Yeah, I know, I can. It just hurts my ears.
It's kind of it's kind of rumbly and all that because you're moving around and. Yeah. But yes, Burger King was a very funny meme back in the day.
I think it was coined by Captain Urbius.
Yes, it was.
It's coined by. I like that time. What's it? Can you use, is it static still?
Yeah, that's still very prevalent.
I'll restart.
Yeah, good times with that. To answer your question, Inanno Montoya, it's kind of hard to explain because there's a lot of shit that I'm not exactly the most well versed on when it comes to Brett Keane.
Wait, what was the question? Because I'm sort of.
He's asking who Brett Keane is. Inanno Montoya.
Let me tell you a tale.
It's kind of hard to explain because there's a lot of shit that I'm not exactly the most well versed on.
He's the most lolcow fucking person ever on the internet. He's somebody that, from the very moment I saw him, like, what the fuck is this guy? What the fuck is he? Because seriously.
Hello, this is Brett Keane of the Brett Keane channel, and I am
this is Brett Keane of the YouTube channel Brett Keane Hollywood. Okay, simply put, this dude is somebody who's a master manipulator. I know with what we just said, that may not make sense at all, but you'd be fucking surprised. The fact of the matter is, he's able to, convince a group of people, always a group of people, that he is a genuine, wonderful, fluff cuff guy. And he's able to sort of coerce them and make them do his bidding. Bidding and it fucking amazes me each and every fucking time. I'm like, no joke. He will be like so nice to them and and defend them and all this shit, and then switch of a fucking thing. Yo, this person now I was just with hanging out, he's honestly a douchebag. You guys should flag his channel down. Like
Brett Keane, he was the thing about the guy is you hate him, but you've been hating him for so long, you kind of love his presence. Like it's like a love-hate relationship thing between YouTube and Brett Keane. I can't explain because he's so obvious and easy. You can see what he's doing. Like it's so obvious, and like Skull said, the fact that anyone can fall for it is like, what? So that's what makes you kind of laugh, and you kind of love to hate the guy, So you love him, but you hate him. You only love him because he's so obvious, but at the same time you hate him.
You love him because he's fun. You love him because he's fun to make fun of. So
exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a funny topic to bring up.
Just like I was always fun to make fun of. So.
I worked it out. The psychology behind the Shades card is that you're the nicest person. Like, you're the easy target. I get it.
Yeah.
It's because you're too nice. That's why people make fun of you.
Well, actually, he's too nice, and then he sort of has a moment of himself where he spurts the fuck out.
Where he's so outspoken, and everyone goes like, "Holy shit!"
Oh, well, yeah. Then he's like, "Fuck shit, motherfucker!"
Yeah, and what he's saying is so true as well, because he's so outspoken in the moment. It's just like, far out, that was pretty blunt and true, but I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
It's like, calm down, bro. Calm down.
You're a good character, dude.
It's okay.
I like you.
Just in a millisecond. Sometimes you're
Wait, what?
Everybody in a millisecond.
Wait, what did you say? You sort of went robo.
Oh, sorry, internet probably.
Guys.
Yeah.
You're good now.
Okay.
Yeah, you sounded good.
Yeah, there was a lag before, so.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm saying that with Shade sometimes his blunt honesty roasts everybody within a millisecond.
Still cutting out, bro.
You're still lagging.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Why do you have to lag for me again?
My cat just jumped in a wheelbarrow.
Nice.
Not even kidding. Look, can you see it?
And the Brett Keane song is legendary. It's one of the best things about pop punk is the fact that that's a song.
Video output low. I think in the live stream it's kind of just having a hissy fit. It's probably fix itself.
You sound good now.
Can we read some comments about the MDA thing? Because I think we've got so sidetracked. Because I brought up Brett Keane and Onision and everything. And
people are talking about Christina Chan, the Brett Keane song. Yes.
Chris Chan hasn't been a thing in this community.
We have fucking just decided to go way out.
The Captain Obvious stuff was that he was really mentally ill, and I felt really bad. He didn't know how to work with us. He tried so hard to work with us. The guy did it. He just kept fucking up. I felt so bad for Captain Obvious. God.
Yeah, I felt bad for him too.
He kept fucking up everything. He fucked up all of the friendships he had. It's so sad to me because he was a great guy. That was painful. Oh, that was bloody painful because at the time I was jumping down his throat, and I think Skull was a bit more mature than me back then, so he was like, "Nah, come on, take some."
Zach was not mature at all.
What depends on your definition of mature.
You were not mature with Captain, dude.
Sure. Because I don't think I might have been mature per se, but I was on his ass, like freaking.
Yeah, you were on his ass, but you were also really sympathetic towards him, and I wasn't at the time, and that just goes to show how my maturity level, like back then and everything. But like, you know, I didn't do that. I kept harping on him, and you kept going, "Look, take shot, kind of feel a bit for this guy and stuff," and I didn't understand much at the time because I was so blinded by my borderline personality disorder that. Because he had hurt me and wanted to, you know, do all these fucked up things to expose me and everything, I was like, you know, like, you're not my friend. And you know, I felt so hurt that I was deflecting my emotions onto him rather than feeling sorry for him. And that fucked me up, you know. Yeah. I should have been better to him, I think.
Yeah. He could have done a lot of things differently on the internet. I still have his Facebook account added. He just hasn't used it at all.
He was a funny fuck, wasn't he? He was the funniest fuck we had.
He was entertaining.
He was so funny. That guy could make you laugh for hours. I swear. It's such a shame. Like he still is, not was. I'm sure there's just this level to which he gets upset. And he's had a hard life. I think he gets really abusive towards his friends out of nowhere. I think he's had a really hard time in life. I know he had bipolar really bad as well.
Yeah, that was definitely a part of him.
Yeah.
Listening to too much Limp Bizkit.
Oh my. And there it is. Listening to too much Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, he looked like Limp Bizkit. You don't know who that is. Generational guy. Yeah.
Who doesn't know who Limp Bizkit is?
She's 2 years younger than me, but I still feel like there's still a huge generational gap, even though she's because she's 20.
I come from a different state too, so.
But she grew up with like paid TV, and I grew up with public TV, and so we kind of have a bit of a different upbringing because of that, and what we know about TV. Because when you're hanging out with someone, you like to talk about the shows you used to watch and stuff, and we can't do that as much. Really, the only things we can do are like The Simpsons, Futurama, like the obvious shit, you know?
Yeah. Basically, Limp Bizkit. Yeah. Limp Bizkit is a band that was popular in the late 90s. They're a guilty pleasure of mine, but if I'm to be honest, they kind of suck. And Captain Obvious looks just like their singer, because he wears a fluffy backwards hat.
And he looks like an older guy dressing like a younger guy, so that's why we always used to say it. And but it was late 90s, so like I would have been like, you know, like 6 or 5 in the late 90s, but you would have been like 3 or younger guy, so that's why we always used to say it. And it was late 90s, so like I would have been like Rage over like 6 or 5 in the late 90s, have an American like 3 or younger guy. So
Rage
that plays music. It plays music.
Rage Against the Machine.
No, it's like called Rage, and like they play music. Maybe that's just an Australian thing. I don't know.
Sounds like it.
It probably is.
Yeah, because I hear Rage, and I think Rage Against the Machine. So.
Oh, it's like the Rage is like a water logo, and then they constantly play like songs and video clips of the songs for like an hour, and that's the Rage show. You get it?
I think that sounds like an MTV thing. So.
Yeah, like MTV. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like MTV playing music repeatedly with their watermark there, but we had Rage, and that was our thing.
Yeah.
The logo was kind of shitty. I guess it was Australian. Like, you guys take a bit more pride in your media and entertainment, and your entertainment industry.
Oh yeah, we take pride in our media. Uh-huh.
Oh, we have the best media.
Oh my god,
it's great.
Well, it depends on what you're defined as media. Media, as in television shows and stuff. That's great. Media, as in our news programs. Oh my god, no.
We're talking about entertainment media, not news media.
Your news sucks. But yeah,
the news media is great, dude.
It's great. Just like make America great again.
But they keep you distracted well.
Yeah, they keep you distracted well. But no, your TV shows and movies are like so good. Like they're on point. I worry about what crazy people are gonna do with them every now and then, but that's on those individuals and not the people who made those beautiful TV shows and movies you all make. Yeah.
Oh, someone in the chat remembers Rage.
Someone knows what it is.
Yeah.
Member?
That's what the stream is turned into. The member stream.
I kinda wish I had Dead Monkey here so he would just make all those sound effects.
Yeah.
Member! The member-berry remarks he makes is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And that video he had on his channel, where he does the member-berry thing with SpongeBob.
Well, we're reminiscing over old times in case anyone's curious. It's just
yes, this has now become the member stream.
Yeah, because it's all. We come from the reason why we're all talking about this. I guess is just because the MDA was around for a while, and I guess when we think about him, we think about the ranting community and how fucked up it was. Now that he's gone, the ranting community will get a lot less fucked up.
I don't know about that. The ranting community will always be fucked up because here's the problem with the ranting community. Here's the problem with the ranting community is that we rant about people. That means we rant about each other. So with that's always going to happen, whether we have MDA or some angel from above. I don't fucking care. It's always going to happen.
We must stop doing it though. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, it depends on how you define ranting. Because bitching in front of
honestly,
a camera, no matter what it is. I mean, hell, I could even consider reviews to be freaking ranting.
Yeah. We established a rule ages ago that you should come to your friends if you have a problem with them and talk it out, though. So that was like, I remember when that was established, everything got a lot better for us, but because that MDA thing was still going on and it was destroying everything, like I kept trying to tell him in that really pissed off video I deleted because I was scared, you know, like he was ruining the community himself, and I saw it and I tried to say it, but he hated that and I deleted the video because I was scared, you know, so.
But honestly, yeah. I look at the way things in the community are now. People are a lot friendlier, especially in the group. You know, the group is basically the community now, and
the group can be somewhat terrible at times. And mainly, I know. I'll make that argument too. Oh, but I don't think it's really to do with super drama. It's really the politics that really have caused the group for me to become cancer.
Yeah, like especially the super conservatives that we have, the couple that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, apart from that, I think the community has gotten, you know, a lot more civil, a lot nicer, and stuff like that.
It's technically
now
round up again after all the shit that's happened, you know.
Yeah, I sort of feel that the community vibe has been rejuvenated thanks to the group, in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. And me and Shades were talking about this earlier. Shades had a really good classing system of like, this is Gen 1, this is Gen 2, this is Gen 3, and now we're at Gen 4. And it was beautiful. I loved the way he articulated it. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, the thing is with the ranting community, as there's always going to be those few people like NBA who do take advantage of others. Maybe that's not just because of psychological pride, but also because they feel superior.
There's always douchebags in every community.
Yeah, and it's just
Oh yeah.
because like when it comes to ranting community, when you have the bad eggs in it, they have really bad eggs in it. Like you have people who think they're superior because they rant and they have popularity.
Yeah.
And they go against certain individuals, mostly who are considered shit.
Yeah, like there are douchebags in the atheist community, in
Cult of Dusty.
Yeah, like Cult of Dusty and people like that.
Generally called Cuck of Dusty.
Cunt of Dusty.
Sounds like
whatever.
a douchebag. There's like douchebag white people, douchebag Asian people, douchebag black people.
Well, this guy literally called himself Dusty the White.
Wait, is that actually real?
Yes.
Dusty the White. Oh my god.
Did you see his recent videos? He's like looking like a white ass wizard.
I don't watch his videos anymore, so no.
Like, really? He looks like a white wizard, and it's like, I'm now Dusty the White. Like, really?
I am Reese the skinny lanky cunt. I should make that my channel name. The skinny lanky cunt with the beanie or something, like, you know. The pasty white.
Cuck of Dusty.
Cuck of Dalton.
Yeah. I always like that one. Cuck of Dusty.
The man who's obviously been wearing the same clothes since he was 16.
Well,
Yeah, I don't buy
the
clothes.
problem with Dusty is that, like, he's been on the Drunken Peasants a bunch of times, and he just doesn't know how to fucking explain any of his reasonings for shit. Like, seriously. Like, if you...
Oh, what's been going on with fucking Cameron, unicycle man? Fucking what?
Cammy, you fucking babs. God.
He's gone nuts.
Cammy Bams, oh yeah.
He's gone nuts. I always thought there was something about him.
Yeah, he is a sellout. He is an asshole.
He's all about that anarchy shit, you know, because that's working out.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, let's all destroy the world to make a new one. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, because we need social justice, and I know other people like that too that annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
He doesn't even understand what the word reform means. It's like with Obamacare. It's like, don't get rid of Obamacare, fix it so everyone keeps their jobs, and there's a system in place that is somewhat working, and improve upon it. You don't have to get rid of it and scrap it and make an entire new thing. That is setting yourself back. He doesn't. Like, anarchists have no fucking clue about this shit. It's so obvious to me. It's like,
oh shit.
like you.
No, you're fine.
You're fine.
Try to say.
What I was trying to say is that, and what's even worse is that you basically have anarchists who are causing riots because the wilderness lost power.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or the extreme left lost power. You have the other side of it taking over, and they're getting all mad. They're literally taking their anger out for the wrong reasons.
Can I say something as an Australian that I don't know if you agree with me as an American? I expected better from the left as a more developed area.
The left has become really intoxicated with political correctness, unfortunately. That's the problem with them at the moment. Like, the thing is that the left used to actually represent progressiveness, you know, because, like, gay marriage equality, wonderful. You know, trying to actually look for stuff where we're all equal as a society instead of, like, you know, backwards and shit.
Oh yeah, I remember when he turned on Nate for no reason. It just makes a bunch of stupid fallacies.
Yeah, that got me really angry when he made that video towards Nate. I was like, no, dude.
You know, if I wanted to be a full-blown pervert, I would just call myself a feminist and be a fucking pervert, and I think that's what a lot of guys are doing by white knighting the fuck out of these
Yes!
Pussy crusher. Fucking
manipulated into feminism. they're a good target to go for if you want to manipulate.
Exactly, because
someone.
they're easily manipulated people. Like, if I wanted to be a pervert, that's what I do, you know? Like, you know, like a...
Yeah, those are the pussy crusher people.
Yeah, like I'd white knight the fuck out of them and be like, feminism, till I got laid the fuck out of by like all these random chicks. But no, I'm standing up for equal rights. I don't stand up for like, you know, like you can't have equal rights by only addressing one gender. It doesn't work like that. You know, like, okay, give women the right to do all this stuff, but then you have to hold them to the same accountability as men and give them the same prison sentences. They don't like that.
And also the fact that it's easier for a woman to win a child than it is for a man.
Exactly. So there's so many. There's two different sides to the story. That's why everyone's moving over to equalism, I think.
Yeah, feminism's just, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think all the extremists will stay there and we can just move somewhere else.
It was good at a time.
All
Like
the extremists won't move, so let's everyone else.
Yeah, like the 70s movement of feminism, totally necessary, and I totally support the 70s movement of feminism and empowering female rights. You know, and maybe feminism is needed in places like Eastern culture, but Western culture, we're so past that. Let's talk about equality as both genders, because both genders are getting punished in different ways, and we'll get equality that way through addressing both genders, not just one. And that's where I see the big flaw in society, and I fail to understand. I mean, 70% of the population is considered in average intelligence, and that you know, that can be scary sometimes when you have voting. You know, sometimes you actually need professionals to vote. You know, you need professionals to make decisions.
What's even more interesting?
What?
Honestly, people in the middle and the people on the right wing nowadays are a lot more actual progressive than the progressives themselves nowadays.
Yeah, that's the thing that blows everybody's mind.
Here's my thing, all right? I'm going to show you exactly the problem and flaw with this. All of us people who are, like, not into that whole, like, extremist feminist type movement in this day and era, we'll all turn around and say, we'll give up our vote so that a better professional can do it, but I highly doubt those extremists will give up their vote, and that should speak volumes.
Yeah.
Because we leave it to professionals, and they wouldn't.
Their definition
You get what I mean?
is people who's on their side, not yours.
Exactly. I want people who have, like, full certificates and, like, doctorates and fucking all sorts, you know? I want people with the full education behind them to back up their choices. That's what I want. People who have been properly educated to be making our decisions. And I would happily hand over my vote, and I would give it all up, and I hope that everyone else would, to let the real professionals take control of voting. Yeah. And picking, you know, what kind of choice was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump from the start? Anyone getting pissed off, by the way, in America, fuck this shit. You had a choice between fucking Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Who the fuck were you supposed to pick? You didn't know. Do you want the devil or do you want the male devil or the female devil? It doesn't even matter. The votes were nearly 50-50. Get the fuck over yourselves. You lost on a small margin. You should feel proud of the people supporting you. Sorry, I'm gonna calm down. My neighbors are... Yeah. I'm from Australia. I have to see all this from a distance, and it's sad. Okay.
Yeah, I feel bad for that. I feel bad that you have to sort of, you know.
Well, at the same time, I can say whatever the fuck I want without having to worry.
So I have to deal with that. Like Washington and
So I can defend all of you who actually want equal rights because I'm in Australia and I won't get kidnapped and bashed. You know.
Or shot.
Or shot. You know.
I'm sure
or maybe you will because fuck you.
Maybe I will because some American person will just be like, my extremism, and then they like fly over and then they find me and then they like,
we're the American government. Yeah, we're the American government. We can do what we want. You're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a bad time to be in the U.S. right now because of all the crazy shit that's going on, and it's just escalating. Like, well, fucking snowball effect.
Yeah,
it's going crazy.
Internal conflict and external conflict, and
Australia's turning the same way. Western culture's all turning out the same way. In my city, I could not date a woman in my city. I had to go online to find a woman because the women in my city are very extreme or they're very fucked up a lot of the time, and they're all turning out the same way. Western culture's all turning out the same way. As you can imagine, the more developed these places are, the more fucked up they're becoming sometimes, and it's quite scary.
Yeah.
You know.
it's really concerning because of the fact is like how much longer until this becomes like a full-blown revolt situation, because this I had conversations with people on the left and some of the groups, and they shat on me because I used the fall of Rome analogy. And even if you didn't really read much of a book, you would know that shit like this doesn't just stay isolated.
Analogy.
And usually how it happens is like, at first it's like instances of violence, a lot of this division going to extreme, then there's going to be riots, then there's going to be, chances are people going full-on revolts and killing each other in the streets because this person, like their neighbor identifies as a certain thing and they need to go kill each other because two ideologies...
That's going to start a race.
Yeah, two ideologies cannot stay understanding, they end up killing each other.
See, it's so ridiculous. You have to accept that everyone has their own opinion, but things need to be, correct in the proper way. That's all where people that are equalists are asking for, is that they're correct in the proper way. That's all they're asking. And I actually am starting to identify with that because I've never identified with a group, right? But I think for the first time in my life, I'm going to identify as something, and that is an equalist. I like the word. I really like the word.
Yeah. It's sort of like the same reason. It's sort of the same reason why I've lately been sort of labeling myself as, a classical liberal. So
yeah, because you're not extreme, and that's your point you're trying to make.
Yeah, I'm not a mainstream liberal. I'm not on the conservative side. Classical liberal is sort of the teetering on centrist kind of thing, but still mainly on the left kind of thing.
The problem with these extremists that I notice, and this is the biggest problem, I think most of them not most of them, but probably a very small group of them that are seen as a lot louder maybe, but a lot of them need mental treatment because they actually think that because they feel a certain way, they can do whatever they want, and that is a big problem,
Well, see, the problem is, like, I think we know what we're talking about, facts before feels, right?
Yeah.
The problem is both sides tend to do that way too often. I know the left has getting a reputation for doing that way too often, but even the right, I feel like with Donald Trump,
they're both guilty of
like Donald Trump is not the fucking messiah that we should bow down to. There's a lot of shit. There's almost as much as shit on Trump that there is on fucking Hillary Clinton. So anybody who's saying. And I mean, what's funny is that when
it's not the fucking messiah that we should bow down.
SNL makes fun of him, so it's like it's funny as fuck because you guys are supposed to be against that.
Yeah,
like
both sides are guilty of.
I don't care if the joke is funny or not. They're still allowed to do it, and the fact that people are getting offended, like I saw some like when a tweet from Trump. In the Joker voice, that was funny as fuck. Yet people were like, "Oh, look at this! Oh, now Mark Hamill's a cuck now."
The left is using immense fear to control you all into slowly being indoctrinated into their mindset. That's what I see.
Yeah, but what Zach is saying, both sides are guilty of, looking at things from an emotional lens. The left's we all know the left's guilty of it. The right's guilty of it too.
But we know who all the people in the right are that are doing it. They're like the neo-Nazi extremist fuckwits.
Well, they're also the idiots too. It seems because, again, people will defend Trump when he bitches and moans about an SNL skit or if Mark Hamill makes fun of him. I don't think you have to be advertly part of the neo-Nazi group to be a baby about that shit.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not just the alt-right that goes from an emotional, perspective and all that. It's not just them.
It's both sides have gone to
and it's not just the SJWs on the left or anything. What up?
Yeah, it's just both sides have broken each other's relations so badly that full-blown tribalism has taken form, and anything.
Yeah, they don't get how horseshoe theory works.
Yeah, and because of that, you got violence. You got a lot of people getting uppity about almost every single damn thing possible.
Could someone explain why some people deny horseshoe theory?
Because
can I just say something?
They think their side is better?
Yeah, they want to believe that it isn't like that. That there isn't a balance to this bullshit, or that they don't want to believe their side could be that way. most SJWs I come across tend to believe.
Because they've been preaching it for so many years, it's like wired into their brain almost. That's what I see anyway, is a bunch of really weirdly wired in the brain people. But actually, there's something that me and Courtney actually like about all this, and that's that it's going to make a division between the super intellectuals, which is people like us who recognize this shit. I call us the super intellectuals who realize that equal rights has to go both ways. And then it's going to create a division between the extremists and the super intellectuals, what I like to label them as, in my opinion.
Well, we're gonna watch them dish it out, you know, while we have the like herder, Trump's my president, yeah, or the Trump's not my president, yeah. We're gonna have them fight out, but we're all eating our fucking popcorn, going, yeah.
The way your face looks with your eyes closed, it just looked like you were.
Can I ask you guys something? In America, how scared are you guys of a race war at the moment? Because I'm looking over there and I'm like seeing what looks to me.
I'm not. The thing is that this race war has been going on for quite some time now. I think ever since, well, probably for quite longer than I might think. But I guess ever since maybe Black Lives Matter started, really.
Yeah.
I don't even know why, but I haven't even been looking at this as much of a race war, but just sort of. You know.
Well, see, I was gonna have an actual discussion with a prominent black YouTuber. You probably might know who he is. Take Shot, Jeffrey Almonte.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a reasonable Black Lives Matter, and I think we agree in a lot of senses. What's going down
He's
here?
Very reasonable. He's a very reasonable. I like Jeffrey.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's that unfortunately got canceled last week. Hopefully that will be a thing sooner or later, because we're gonna.
Yeah, because I was really looking forward to watching that, and I was like,
Skull. Oh, white people are racist, but we like Jeffrey.
God damn it!
Well, hold on. No, that's the I have a black friend card. Again, I don't know why that's used as like the you're just saying that like.
But a racist
if you're fucking friends with a black person, why would you be racist if that was the case?
But it makes sense. Like a racist person really wouldn't be. Person, they wouldn't be friends with anyone of another ethnicity because it'd be so racist. They wouldn't be like making friends with people of other ethnicities. You know.
And here's the reason actually. A reason that completely disproves, the fact that anybody can be racist if they have a black friend. Here's the thing that proves that. Tyler Preston is everyone's friend. He's everyone's black friend.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you go out of your way to associate yourself in a multicultural way, how can you be seen as racist? I don't get it.
You might grew up in the title that we talked about freaking Trump now.
Because.
Sorry, did I just derail everything?
Go on. Right. I was just saying because, like, I grew up in a multicultural school and I grew up in a multicultural society, so I've been surrounded by every kind of ethnicity my entire life that you can imagine, and to be told that all white people are racist is killing me inside because it's not true, and this is what I mean. Not only have I been diversifying, like, because you see, I think that's somewhat of a fair argument in a way.
What's a fair argument?
I diversify myself amongst everyone. I don't go out of my way to not diversify myself amongst everyone. So.
Like, yeah, well, see, like, I grew up pretty, like, I wouldn't say really diverse, maybe, but I know I've seen in schools, like, where it's full of various other cultural individuals. I mean, me being a loner, you tend to freaking observe better than most people, and that's what I generally saw. But when I grew up, one of my inspirations growing up was MLK for his "I Have a Dream" speech, and those initial words that he said in those speeches are what I've always lived on. To judge somebody based on their character and not the color of their skin, creed, or whatever.
As well as for the concept of fighting hate with love. That was his civil protesting. That's the example that I take away.
And the thing is, worked, didn't it? And then, like,
Oh, yeah,
No, your audio cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stream is constantly.
Zach, your audio cut out.
Off. It's getting to that point where the stream is cutting itself off.
It's cutting itself off.
Yeah, the video output is low, so it's trying to stop.
Yeah. All right, he left now. He's gonna try and come back, I guess. But yeah, like the town I.
Hello. Okay.
Now we're good. The town I live in, the town I grew up in, there was not very much diversity where I live. Pretty much all the black kids from my school were from out of town. They were part of a program called METCO. I forget what it stands for, but it basically was designed to help, African American students, better themselves and, do well in school and stuff along those lines. And they tended to isolate themselves from, everyone else and just keep to, well in school and hanging out with stuff along those lines. And they tended to, I felt bad about that, but at the same time, these weren't exactly people that I had much in common with. It wouldn't really be until college where, where there was more of an emphasis on diversity, and I made my first actual, black friend and all that. Yeah. This person being the person that made my intro song. But yeah, so different people have different upbringings and different exposures to diversity and all that, and other cultures and all that.
Yeah.
My school was extremely undiverse, but I didn't grow up racist because of it.
Yeah.
So no one really had confused.
That's right.
Yeah,
you have to have the mindset of racism, really. Like, you have to have parents who were overtly racist in order for you to get the mindset of racism. And the thing is, with our culture now, most people are born with not that mindset, to be honest. Unless you're like in the deep south or whatever, or your parents are in the white supremacist group, which, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are now rising up because apparently Trump likes to attract these people for some fucked up reason.
Richard Spencer!
All right, we need to stop then. Like, every white person is turning around and saying right now, stop those fuckheads.
Yeah. I mean, how even Trump was like, no, I don't associate with them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, those people will exist forever. Because people like to associate sort of other meaningless way to hate somebody. And, well, we just have to, society, disassociate yourselves from them. And that's what they do. But unfortunately, what people do is that they take enough supporter and then attach the racism label on them.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's not what we do. We don't disassociate themselves because they associate themselves with a label that has nothing to do with what you're accusing them of.
That's like saying that Black Lives Matter and feminism coinciding together or something based off your own assumptions. It would be weird. And it's one of those things like I sit there and I think about it now that I've thought about it. When I was growing up, when you were all growing up, racism was something that we only saw of as a very fucked up individual in a very extreme rare case. But now racism is being seen as this big thing that almost everyone is, and that's just not the case. It's still that very extreme, isolated thing, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's an extreme fringe group. I mean, it's like if people judged Black Lives Matter as this entire hate-filled group that wants to molest white people or whatever the fuck it is. It's these fringe groups that aren't prominent before the 1960s. Indefinitely, because these people were giving the regards and were able to have a voice and were able to rise up and go do their things without much punishment at all. It was okay to be racist back then. It is not okay to be racist now, which is why it's condemned, and so wholeheartedly. You know, like people won't say, "Oh, you can't say this shit," but people will not like you if you hate somebody based on their race. Hell, people will even judge you based on somebody's sexual orientation as well as even religion, and that makes sense because again, you're judging somebody based off of a particular aspect of themselves that doesn't exactly define them.
They came into the world with it, just like how we were all born male and female. We didn't have a choice in that, just as much as our ethnicity.
I mean, religion is sort of different in a sense, but I mean, still, somebody could be a Christian and be like, be whack jobs like the Westboro Baptist Church, or fucking simple and doing jack shit, all just praying to their Jeebish and whatnot. Like, what the fuck ever.
I've met some people who are Christian that were using their Christianity to be creeps, and we've heard about priests doing that to molest children too. So it's
and like Christianity isn't the only one doing it. Obviously, Muslim terrorism is a thing, but I mean, there's still like Muslim. Like I heard about the story of this Muslim who was trying to get the word out, to tell your kids any radical shit, Like his son was coming back from his like Muslim school saying that they're telling him to hate Jews, and he's like, "Whoa, bro, get the fuck out of there!" That's a problem. It's why we can't characterize and generalize each and every one of these people, just based off the religion, ethnicity, or fucking sexual orientation. Because a gay guy could be the most flamboyant fuck ever, or just be simply like, yeah, I'm a fag.
Yeah, like the biggest, buffest, most like manly looking dude ever. Like, yeah, it takes all kinds to make a world, and I've said that from the start of my life. Because I heard it very young.
That's my basic philosophy of my life. That I have character has always been important to me. No matter what, you could be the whitest motherfucker ever, and if you decided to shoot up a church, that happened. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, Dylan Roof is being sentenced to death for doing that.
Yeah.
Like us white people, we hate all these little school shooter white fucks. We hate them all. Like we're not gonna
freaking justify them just because they have the same skin color. That's
no, the skin color was irrelevant from the start to us.
What possibly could have happened with this? Like mental illness, but what I hate about this certain conversation is that they're saying that that's the only time is when white people kill people, we put mental illness in the case. I mean, I'm pretty sure the person who shot up that gay bar in in Florida in the Pulse nightclub wasn't fucking white, and his mental health was put into question,
Yeah.
Because again, mental like people say, oh, if it's a Islamic terrorist, they automatically think it's just their religion and all that shit.
Like ever since,
mental health has nothing to do with it.
As far back as probably Columbine, people were starting to take mental health into account when analyzing a shooting and all that.
Well, I mean, ever since like super serial killers like Ted Bundy and shit.
Yeah. Even before Columbine, with that.
We now label these people, these extreme people, as a person with an antisocial personality disorder, meaning that there's treatment for it. And when there's treatment
the mental illness card is by no means meant to excuse the people. No.
No, it's meant to as a way to say, hey, this is a thing that we need to be aware of to possibly prevent further nonsense from happening.
Exactly.
It's not a way to say, yeah, Dylan Roof, you're mentally ill, which, by the way, he went on his trial just specifically to not do that so that he could die.
On point.
So I thought I could throw that out there.
Oh, sorry to interrupt and all, but I think we actually need to finish this up. My internet connection is fucking up really badly now.
Okay.
Well, we could probably continue this in a Skype if we want to, but you know what? Let's all give our last regards to the people who actually are watching us, if we want to.
All right.
So, youtube.com/scorper4900. Subscribe. I don't make videos at the moment, but maybe I will. Never know when.
Do it,
maybe I will. Well, I'm waiting for my income tax to possibly get like better equipment, and so it won't. There'll be style,
Yeah.
Go check me out on YouTube. Go check me out on YouTube. My name's Stoutmeister. I make some videos every.
Hold on, guys. My name is iMustDestroyAll.
No.
Oh fuck.
And I'm Take Shot Action, and I think I'm hot shit with my grizzly beard.
You sounded more like Damien there than you did, Reese.
Hello, guys. Hello, Ranter and Shades here. I wear shades indoors. Go to my channel, Ranter and Shades at YouTube.com. Yeah, like I'm subscribed to like people like Repsion. I love him so much. Oh, I talk about music and I wear shades indoors. Oh yeah, subscribe.
I'm Kaz. I don't do anything.
Wow. Hold on.
That's why I don't do anything.
Well, I think everyone got a shout out except for you, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck me, right? Well, no,
Hey,
Cass
do
needs to talk about his channel, so it's fine.
Obviously, you see Kaz Warfox, me, my faggoty ass over here.
Oh.
Welcome and good evening. You've just witnessed the most autistic live stream ever.
Hooray!
Yep. It's barely spelled.
It's so true. This whole live stream just looks like high functioning autism. I think we said that it would from the start.
Basically, no one's denying.
There's the title of the video, autistic screaming.
Well, if any of the viewers here like my autistic ass, they can like and subscribe this shit. And in the event that it's taken down, please, for the love of God, download it. This stream.
Yeah. I will be archiving it once it's available. So
Alright, we also have Skull Ripper 4900 and Ranter and Shades. That was the names that I think were missed out there. Do you want to?
I talked about Ranter and Shades. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. What's it? Cass, do you want me to take us out or?
Sure.
Okay. With all.
Don't worry.
Oh, okay. What's it? Cass, do you want me to take us out or? And.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And goodbye.
Okay. With all.
Don't worry.
Oh, okay. What's it?
Sorry.
And have fun dealing with you and your whatever. I was gonna say something witty, but I don't care.
I love you, Shades.
I was gonna say something witty about MDA, but whatever.
It's okay.
These fucking sound effects.
She's fucking with the controls, guys. She's fucking with the controls. Stop. No. What female abuse? He pushed her.
I don't know what I was gonna either. Yeah, it's always fun.
Is the stream over?